Welcome to Real Health with me, Karl Henry. Folks, what can walking do for us? And how can it improve our mental and physical health? Why are phone-free environments so good for us? Well, for all this and a whole lot more, the authors of a brand new book, The 50 Best Family Hikes in Ireland, psychologists and married couple Mairead Furlong and Fergal McLoughlin are in studio. Welcome to Real Health, folks. How are we?
Very well.
Very well, thanks, Karl.
Are we
great?
Nervous and worried and concerned that I'm going to be really mean?
Yeah.
Are you? I'm very nice. I promise. I'm very nice. First and foremost, your book is fabulous.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I got to see it before. It's in bookstores now, but I got to see it before it went out. And it's a lovely book. The research in it, in terms of detail, and I know that's very important to both of you, is so impressive.
Yeah, well,
tell us a little bit about that.
we wanted to make it really, we wanted to demystify hiking as well. You know, that you don't need to be this super fit gym junkie. You know, you can be a normal family like us. You know, you can see that we're not like particularly super fit or whatever. And it's just to put in the detail to make it like just ABC. You know, you maybe start small with your family, with your walks, and just build it up bit by bit. And if you keep doing that, Cairn Tool is there for you. With just a bit, just keep going.
And did you both, have you always hiked, the pair of you?
No, we have. Well, we've always been interested in getting out and about. I played a lot of sport when younger, but hiking, no, that's something that we started more in the last few years, especially when Levi, our son, kind of came along, and to get out and about with him to see the countryside, and it took off in the last 4 or 5 years, kind of thing, really.
And that is important, isn't it? Like, from a family perspective, like, it is a free, usable family fitness tool. Not even fitness is the wrong word, but like family wellness tool.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's on our doorstep, no matter where in Ireland you go.
Absolutely. I mean, Ireland is fantastic. It's a small country, it's compact, but the variety and the variation in the landscapes and the places that you can see all around, very accessible in a lot of ways. It's a great country for hiking in. There's a lot of accessibility, you know, you can get around it easy enough. So it's and it's free.
Yeah, to me, that's really important that it is free.
Well, because life's expensive enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And at what point did you both think, okay, let's write a book about this and approach the publishers?
That was last year, early last year.
Okay.
But we'd been hiking probably pretty seriously for the last 4 or 5 years. It was only last year we thought, do you know, there is a book in this. Because we knew from going out in the mountains, it's like, there's not enough families out here. Why aren't there? Bar the hot spots like Croagh-Patrick. And like, that's a bit crazy.
The trendy ones.
Like, and like people going from zero to Croagh-Patrick. Croagh-Patrick is hard.
It is, yeah.
You know, so like, it's like there's so many other walks that people aren't aware of. And as families, like to spend that time together, like, you know, hours and hours together, so immersive out in nature. So we kind of thought, no, there is a gap for this. Like, there's other brilliant hiking books out there. You know, we all know what they are, you know. But it's like, where's the advice for parents? You know, how do you bring your kids along with you? You have to do a little bit. This is where I think our experience as psychologists does help. That you just bring in simple kind of behaviourist techniques, the little rewards, the little breaks. You build it up step by step. It's like, sure, you did it on Operation Transformation, Karl. You know, when you get people to exercise, it's just step by step, bit by bit. And very soon, you know, you're 0 to 5K. Like,
I know walking and hiking are very important on a personal level to you, aren't they? Can you take us there for a little bit?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that.
So, it's funny that we do so much walking and hiking now, because when I was pregnant with Levi, so I was 37 when I was pregnant with him. He's 9 now. And also when he was born, and in a couple of months after he was born, I developed this very mysterious illness where I couldn't walk. I could barely stand. I couldn't stand without crutches, and even then I wasn't standing that well. And all my lower bodily functions from my mid-thoracic spine down weren't working. So that means your toileting isn't working, you know. And like, I was going around to consultant after consultant, different MRIs. What was going on? Was it MS? Was it Guillain-Barré? Was it a weird pregnancy complication? You know, pelvic girdle pain? Or what the hell was it? And luckily enough, when Levi was 2 months old, we came across a brilliant neurologist and neurosurgeon who were able to diagnose what it was. It was a tumour, a big tumour on my mid-thoracic spine, and they immediately put me in for an operation, which saved my life. And so they had to remove the tumour, remove a part of my spine, and remove a lot of my muscles in my back. I had to learn to walk again.
Oh my goodness!
I had to learn to walk again, which
you say that so flippantly, by the way. You have a lovely way of, as women tend to do. You brush off the, learn to walk again. Yeah. Just like it was nothing.
It wasn't nothing, no.
Of course it was. No. That's incredible.
No, it was an intensive physio program with Beaumont for a year. Yeah. Every week going up to them and religiously doing the exercises. I was so motivated. Sorry?
With a newborn at home.
Oh, yeah. So Fergal, I suppose, had to become more involved than he might have otherwise have had to, in my...
Yeah, of course.
I had the maternity leave, but he had to become really involved because I couldn't do a lot of it, that kind of way. But yeah, I'm kind of after losing my train of thought.
Step by step, you got back. You got your mobility back.
Yes, step by step, literally was. I suppose I was so motivated because I nearly died, and I had an opportunity now to, live and be the best mother I could be. And the best mother meant being alive, really. The best alive mother I could be.
And Fergal, how? Because you got to love your silence in the corner there.
You're fine. I mean, it was.
How was that?
Hugely difficult time, a hugely stressful time to get through. But I suppose one thing about Mairead is she's a hugely kind of resilient sort of person.
I get that from knowing her for 5 minutes.
Yeah. You're getting a flavour there. So she's really resilient, really determined, and with a lot of hard work
You're a very powerful team, obviously, the pair of you.
Yeah, well, we do match off well together, and we try and help each other out for sure, and support each other as best we can for sure. Yeah.
It was great to do the book together.
Yeah.
Fergal does most of photography. I only do 10%. I do most of the writing.
Yes,
but Fergal would do some of it. So we do dovetail. We do have different skill sets, but yeah.
What was your first hike after you started to learn to walk again?
Well, I wouldn't call it a hike. I suppose it was so incremental.
Yeah.
It was literally like pushing Levi by the side of the canal in the pram or something, and then maybe graduating to going for a walk in the forest. So I wouldn't call them hikes. They were walks.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
What was the first mountain you climbed?
First mountain
that we would have climbed would have been up in the Mourne Mountains, the North Mountain, Slieve Meadmore up there.
We did do the Slieve Blooms.
And yes, we did the Ways.
Before that, we did Ways.
Oh, yeah.
Ways.
Yeah.
The Slieve Bloom Way.
Yeah.
So we do 3 km one way, 3 km back. We started small and that kind of thing. And then we did the Dublin Way, same way, a little bit, and the Wicklow Way, most of it.
So the structure of the ways and routes became a form of physical and emotional and marriage therapy, I would imagine, by the sounds of it.
Oh, yeah, it was great. It worked in all sorts of ways. So physically it helped us, sure, but mentally and as a family, it really kept us together. And
because with your day job hats on, like the psychological benefits from walking are phenomenal for people.
Oh, they certainly are. They certainly are. I suppose it gives you a whole sense, maybe even more in the modern day, of a slower way of life that we have maybe lost a little bit. There's always helter-skelter or to keep up with the next thing or all that kind of thing. It gets you away from kind of the sedentary scrolling kind of lonely life that maybe some children or families now live in, kind of silos almost around the place. So you kind of can change that around by going for a hike, going for a walk together as a family. It opens up communication again, an art that might be a little bit gone awry a little bit. Spending time together, strengthening, going through. A lot of hikes become part of your family folklore. They become part of what you talk about as a family, and remembrances and memory and stuff like that. So it's there's so many benefits from it. Yeah, that's only just some of them.
Yeah, and there's so many physical benefits in terms of you're less stressed, so you've reduced cortisol. There's studies on this,
Do you prescribe it to your patients?
Hey, yeah, I would definitely so in recommendations or that at this stage to get back out there, more even to get into a kind of a wilder, more natural environment is even where there's even more power. That's kind of something that's kind of been lost a little bit, even from, if you think about even evolutionary terms or that, way back, we've always been out in the land, and it's only in the last whatever, a couple of 100 years, whatever, we've become much more kind of urban or house dwelling, city dwelling, town dwelling, whatever kind of thing. So we've lost that kind of connection there a little bit. So some of our, like a lot of our hikes, we like to kind of get out to explore slightly wilder places. Yeah. And it's really important that when you're with your kids out on those sort of places, not to be too kind of prescriptive with them, let them roam a little bit.
Let them be wild.
Let them be wild.
Wild in the wild.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And we've actually chosen our walks to be wild. Like if sometimes we'll try out walks, and sometimes, you have these family friendly places to go to, and sometimes they'll charge and sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But if there's boring, straight, sanitised tracks not in our list, not too boring.
Well, you feel strongly about that now. That's good.
Yeah.
You're getting all excited now. Yeah.
It has to be wild. You know what I mean? It has to be a kind of bog track or a rock track, or your the sense of touching the rock.
There's a sensory piece to that, isn't it? And that's not a neurodivergence piece. That's for all of us. There's a connection to the land.
Yeah. Like, you lose a sense of wildness in yourself if you don't connect to the wild in nature. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just something that goes dead and something comes alive in your soul, if you believe you have a soul. But let's go that we do have a soul. Something comes alive in you when you... the wind and it's buffeting in your hair, and you're like nearly screaming because it's so windy, but it's exhilarating. It's like,
I can see how you sold this to an editor. Absolutely, you sold me already. But it's almost against the grain of the helicopter parent, isn't it? It's like, to a point, in a safe way, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, let's just go explore. Let's just go off the beaten track and just go.
It's a kind of funny thing with hiking. It does allow you that, like, obviously, maybe I speak for myself, when we were younger, you were out playing a lot more and kind of roaming wherever and that kind of thing. And that's kind of been lost. I suppose parents are kind of concerned for all sorts of different reasons. A lot of our kind of green spaces are gone around the places. They're not there anymore. So there is still a need, though, for us to get out and roam, while kind of considering parents as well wanting to kind of keep an eye on their kids or be around. But when you get out hiking in the wilder places, you are around, you're there, but they also get that
sense of adventure,
a way of adventure and kind of roaming a bit.
You kind of, and kids, I suppose kids, individuals and families do too. You all get away from your problems. For when you're just out being windswept up the side of a hill or something, and battered by the rain. Yeah.
Hours and hours away from your day-to-day, email, to-do list. Yeah, it's so freeing. I think that was that was part of the lure of it as well. It was just, this weekend we are not looking at any work stuff, and we are just going out, spending days, like 4, 5, 6, 7 hours out, and like the fresh air, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It blows the cobwebs out of your mind. Like, sometimes you can think even I'm a bit under the weather, I have a bit of a cold, I have a bit of a migraine, and you go for a walk and it kind of blows it out.
Chat to me about the family psychology of being out windswept and the psychology of the family unit. Chat to us a little bit about that now.
Well, I think you get to spend time all together with your parents. You get to, for the child's point of view, they get to see their parents in different sort of conditions, different emotions, different states or whatever kind of thing. And they also see them having fun and playing with them and spending time with them together. So again, that kind of that knowing each other, bonding closer together piece there as a family is really powerful.
And like you said earlier, you're setting children up for a life. Like, you remember back to your childhood, as do I, running through fields and hay bales and whatever.
Yeah.
You're trying to install those kind of memories.
You are
for later life, that they come back to that themselves, and it sticks with them as they go.
You hope that that's kind of something they'll keep doing and just have in them, that they just need to do it and go out to do it. And I think it just, like, without trying, it just builds a connection to nature and the land. And they're going, I think a person who goes out hiking ends up caring about nature, not in a dutiful way or like I should do this, but just in a natural. That's just what happens by osmosis. You know, it's just so beautiful.
We got a taste of that during COVID, didn't we? The what was around us. We were forced to stop.
Yes, yes.
And all of a sudden, we heard the birds.
Yeah.
Because we weren't rushing into whatever. And we appreciated we've 2 foxes at the minute now, and we've won the cub has grown up, but we've watched them over the last 6-8 weeks, I'd say, and we leave food out for them, we mind them and all of that.
Fantastic.
And you know, it's brought a lovely awareness to the house around the fox, the cub, how all that works, where they live, there's a whole conversation around the foxes now. It's lovely.
Sure. Yeah. And that's what happens out in the hikes when you go to the wilder places and you get in contact with the wildlife or the flora and fauna that's there, and so there's these big magnificent views, but there's also the more smaller, the little flowers that are there as well, and you really get in contact with that, or the bog cotton or whatever it is that you're going to see a whistle in the wind. So they really hit parts into you and into the family that are, hard to get in other sort of scenarios.
Geez, lads, you're selling it well. I tell you.
Well, we can't believe it, I suppose.
No, in all fairness, I was wondering how this interview was going to go. I wasn't quite sure. I was like, okay, let's see how we go. You sell it. You have a lovely graph for all of it. Like, it comes, you could hear it in both your voices when you talk about it. Gear is important then for people listening in. So now hopefully you've motivated them as much as you've motivated myself. Gear is important, isn't it?
It is.
And having the right type of gear.
Absolutely. And I think it is even psychologically important that you kind of have a hiking uniform that you just get into, because it puts you into a different mindset. You're not going for a leisurely walk, you're going for an adventurous hike. This is serious.
No messing.
Yeah, exactly.
Boots are on. Full metal jacket.
It kind of just changes your mindset for sure. Yeah.
So
you're going in. Yeah.
You have the waterproof coat.
I like that, the hiking. I think it's great. It's great. It's very good.
You do have the hiking boots for the kids as well.
The waterproofs, not the jeans or something.
Yeah, it's waterproof. It's layers. It's breaking the boots in properly, but it's having the right gear to make sure that regardless of the weather, you're going out.
And that kind of thing. And also, like, even if you're leaving off, preparation is a big thing to make a hike successful. So even if you're leaving on a nice sunny day down wherever you are, but you're going up into a mountain or something like that that's up, weather's going to change. So you need to bring your coat with you. You need to have a layer. You need to have your hat. Maybe you even need your gloves or whatever in the bag somewhere. So there's definitely the preparation is key.
And what you put in your rucksack is kind of like you have to be safe. You have to be able to cover every eventuality. And that as a parent, when you do have to think, but we lay it out step by step in the book, everything you just need, and just have it in the bag, and you will never be caught out. Even if the worst thing happens and you have to call 999 or whatever, you're fully equipped for
safe.
that.
You're safe.
You're always safe.
Yeah.
Why do you think people or families don't do as much of the family hiking as we'd like?
I think it's I don't know, like, I think you do see in other countries, maybe like our East European neighbours, and that they seem to have a bigger tradition amongst them. So maybe it's just traditionally it's not quite with ourselves. I think also for families, we would have bought a lot of hiking books and gone through it all, and there's great books out there, but they never reference really children doing it. They never reference family doing it. So it's very much for the solo hiker kind of.
Yeah, maybe people just haven't realised that children can hike.
Yeah.
Your children can hike. In fact, they're probably going to be better hikers than you.
Oh, they're exhausted after it.
Yeah.
Deadly.
Yeah. Well, it really helps them with their...
Brilliant.
It helps them with their physical thing.
It's fantastic. It's that and the trampoline. Trampoline's the best thing we ever bought.
Yeah.
But no, like that. Like they say for the other end of the spectrum, the aging population, with those who live in hillier areas are healthier.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
So exactly. It's providing the glutes, your quads, all the muscles have to work when you go up a hill or down a hill. It's a great balance.
Yeah, it's fantastic like that.
Chat to me about your favourite. It's a horrible question. Your favourite hikes.
Horrible, favourite.
I think for me...
Top three. Okay, top three. There we go.
Yeah, for me, definitely I'd start somewhere like Sleafy, up in the Cooley Peninsula, overlooking Carlingford there with the Mormon.
I grew up in Carlingford, so I was sent there every summer to burn off some energy in the adventure centre.
Lucky you, it's a beautiful park.
It's fabulous, yeah.
It really is, and some fantastic views. So I think that's kind of like, I think in our book we'd have that kind of like a medium type hike, so you'd want to have some experience there, but you can get going with that. I think for an easier kind of accessible walk, somewhere like Fairhead, which is up in County Antrim, right up the northeast coast there, overlooking Scotland, next neighbour. That's an amazing cliff walk with not a whole lot of effort needed to get out about on it, but it's absolutely sensational. And then for an experienced family or an experienced hiker or somewhere like that, I would probably pick somewhere like Cumshagon, which is down in the Cumra Mountains in Waterford there. And that's
the famous, there was a famous picture on that one, isn't there?
Yeah, there is with the Corrie Lake.
Yeah.
That's one of the most stunning Corrie Lakes in Ireland. So that's an amazing hike. In our book, we kind of lay it out in a way that even from an easier point of view, you could just get up to the Corrie Lake and have a look at that. But if you were more experienced to hike around the cliff tops that surround the cliffs, it's just, you'll never forget it.
No, you'll be so, like, as you're going around the cliff, you're like, we climbed that. How did we do that? I was like, but you just did it. It's just, you're like kind of congratulating yourself the whole time.
Or happy with yourself when you do it. Yeah.
Well, you bond as a family, and you do congratulate yourselves as a family.
And you help each other.
Yeah, there's great satisfaction
of course
there, and
sometimes you have to problem solve a little bit. How do we get up here?
Yeah.
Now, in our book, we kind of lay it out because we have found
You've been through that, of course.
It helps people a little.
But there is a sense of satisfaction as well. Like, what is the best way up here?
Yeah.
But that's with more experience. Guys with more experience, you kind of back yourself. And
your own favourites?
My own favourites. I think Mount Errigal in Donegal is amazing. It looks daunting, but it's actually quite easy-ish enough. It's not that bad. I think Mullaghmore in the Burren, where you can see Father Ted's house on the other side of it.
Good one, big Father Ted fan over here. Yeah, sold.
I think the Great Blasket Island off Kerry.
Oh yeah,
brilliant. Yeah,
if the licenses are back on the boats, which I think they are. Yeah, I think we're all right.
Yeah. Or Jersey Island with the only
the cable car. I haven't done that. I'm going to do that.
That is well worth doing. Well worth doing. Yeah. But there's so many other ones. Like I feel like I want to say Diamond Hill.
Says you, Annie. Once they're moved, you're once you're out in the wild, windswept, you're happy.
Exactly. Once it's wild, I'm happy. Yeah.
And key takeaways then for our listeners. Obviously, to buy the book. That's very important. And it's in all good bookstores nationwide. Yeah. Anything else?
I think that you can do it as a family. Any family can kind of do it with the right level of preparation. You will get out there and you will see Ireland from a whole different perspective than what you've kind of seen before. And also will just bring you into a different way of prioritising things maybe in your life or something like that, that this is really invaluable time spent together. And it's a really brilliant way to do it.
Yeah, and if I could add to that, like without even trying, you get so many benefits, like family bonds in terms of your mental, physical health, your connection to nature, getting a whole perspective on the kind of rat race. I just think it changes your philosophy of life.
People can hear that from both of you, though, and I'm not trying to butter you up, but it genuinely it translates coming from you. You can hear the passion, what it's done for you. It translates it as you talk through the microphone, which is wonderful. Right. And the amount of work that you put into the book is absolutely sublime.
But it was a labour of love,
but still, you have to do the work, though. Labour, love or not, you still it's a huge the work that's gone into it. So, folks, if you're listening in and you're in a bookstore, you will see the book on the shelves, the 50 best family hikes in Ireland. Mairead and Fergal, thank you so much for coming in today. We really appreciate it. Folks, that's it for another episode of Real Health with me, Karl Henry. Don't forget to rate and review if you liked what you heard at Karl Henry PT on Instagram, Real Health at independent.ie, and on the Irish Independent website. We'll see you next week for more Real Health. Slán go fóill.